Greetings, coasters. It's Malzilla again, back from the depths of my hiatus to bring you another IDW Sonic review. Today's topic is the 2025 annual, which is also coincidentally the 30th anniversary of the Chaotix. Yes, it's been 30 years since Knuckles Chaotix came to your enhanced Genesis. Was it the 3DX or something? I'm butchering the name for that enhancement. I apologize. But yeah, it's been 30 years, and today we are here to tell a story about our favorite gumshoes, Vector the Crocodile, Espiel the Chameleon, and Charmy the Bee. Sorry, Mighty. Yeah, you're stuck in the classic era. So, kind of pulling off this were the 30th anniversary specials for Sonic CD and Sonic 3 Knuckles were set in the classic eras. This is set in the modern era, as it's been basically 20 years since Vector, Espio, and Charmy have kind of re-entered the Sonic world, and most of us know them as the detectives that they are today. So, makes sense to tell it in the modern. So, the basic kind of summary of this book is that Sonic and Amy are at the Smithsonian Museum, which is a Sonic museum, not quite the Wonder Museum you see in Sonic Crossworlds, but kind of in that vein that houses a bunch of rare artifacts from around the world. Now, Amy has spent the night prior going over all the exhibit information to kind of impress Sonic, making her seem more cultured and, as Sonic calls museums artsy fartsy, then she kind of is. Everything is going to plan until they bump into Vector. Now, Vector is there along with the other Chaotix who are throughout the museum. They are reminiscing for a year ago, so this is the first anniversary of one of their big mystery solving scores. So a year ago, they got called in by the assistant curator for the museum, Agami the Jackal, for her boss, Professor, I think, Valdos. Let me double check his name really quick. Apologies for that. It is Valdis. He is a buzzard who is concerned that his museum is the target for a thief, because the thief has left them a calling card, a black and gold card with an Egyptian motif that says the shadows lay claim. It is the calling card of the master thief Enigma. So, Vector explains his side of the story, which is kind of the initial meeting and how it didn't go very well, while Sonic and Amy move on into a different part of the museum that is very East Asian, mostly Japanese themed, where she begins narrating some information about a piece of samurai armor and how they were defeated by ninjas throwing giant, ninja stars known as shurikens. Now, Espio, being the ninja weeb that he is, pops up out of nowhere and says, actually, it's pronounced shuriken, Amy. Amy freaks out, tries to hit him with his hammer, but apologizes, realizing it was just reflexes. Now, Espio then regales them with his side of the story, which is all about kind of his confrontation with Enigma, trying to steal a precious artifact known as the Jade Lotus. Except Jade Lotus was actually Crystal Lotus, apologies. But Espio notices something bizarre, that the Crystal Lotus was the prized possession of Cascade City, not the museum, and he's wondering why it was there. Now, Amy and Sonic continue on and bump into Charmy, and again, Amy has about lost her mind, but Charmy kind of explains that they confronted the Buzzard curator and saying that, hey, the Crystal Lotus doesn't belong to you. Why is it here? And he ultimately admits to basically saying that he stole all those artifacts to put in his museum. And Charmy ends up sitting on the microphone while he's saying this, so everyone basically gets a full-on confession, and they run him out of the building. Day is saved, all that good stuff. Except, as the Chaotix finish their tale and Sonic and Amy go off to explore more in the museum, we see Enigma looking above them, regaling her part of the story. Now, I do mention that I did say her, for it is revealed that Megami the jackal is secretly Enigma, given the Egyptian motif and the fact that jackals are usually pretty significant in Egyptian, you know, iconology, mythology. Yeah, and I mean Anubis, for crying out loud, head of a jackal, Egyptian god. But Vector kind of talks to Megami, checking in on her, kind of saying, "Are you okay? I know your boss just got, ran off. You lost your job. Blah blah blah." But also kind of throws the card back to her, says, "Hey, you forgot your card," implying that yeah, he knows who she is. Now in the present, Enigma is not exactly pissed that she lost out on her treasured prize, but she's happy that after countless years of flawless heists, she's finally found worthy opponents. And while she wishes them a happy anniversary, she says she'll see them again next time. So, very fun episode, fun issue. We'd love to see another Sonic baddie join the pantheon of great Sonic baddies such as Leonda, Breezy, and Fiona, and Surge. So Enigma makes 5. Need one more for the Sonic Infinity Gauntlet of baddies. So Tracy Yardley's on art along with a couple other artists who do the scenes for the flashbacks because they're all in different styles. Vector's is very noir Sin City. SBO is very kind of like weebish, kind of. His is actually the most normal because SBO is technically the most normal, but his is very kind of purple and white, very kinetic, very mangy. Again, very weebish because SBO is a weeb. And then Charmy's is very childish, kind of crayon. It's pretty great. Charmy's actually really written well in this. He's not, annoying. He's actually, he's written young and, excitable, but still, tolerable. But actually, again, Daniel gives all the characters a great voice. You feel that this is them. I'm not a huge fan of Daniel's online personas on Twitter and social media, but his writing for Sonic has been nothing less than stellar. Wasn't a huge fan of Scrap Nick Island like others are, but it's a solid story. A lot of people love it. His Omega and Gemerald story, and I think it was the 2023 annual, was really good. So happy to see him, and if he keeps putting out work like this, I'm looking forward to seeing more of it, and I hope to see more of Enigma down the line. She's got a great design, very almost, obviously, because ancient Egyptian definitely has some Enerjack, reminding, but again, it makes more sense for a jackal to have an Egyptian motif than an echidna. So there's that. But highly recommend it. This gets 7 out of 7 Chaos Emeralds from me. This may be one of the best annuals yet. It is very approachable. Daniel prefers more episodic one and done stories that anyone can pick up and grow, and you can easily pick this up without paying attention to what's going on in the main line. So, stay tuned for more stuff from Sonic Hosts Coast to Coast. I know Roger and I have been hiatus. Life has kind of thrown us some boomerangs here and there, but we're kind of getting our schedules all cleaned up, and we should be back to your regular programming sooner or later. We might have to rebrand a few things, though. Anywho, thank you for your time. Talk to you soon. Feel free to follow us on our social medias and put in the comments what your favorite little Easter egg was. Was it a couple of references to possible games, or was it a couple possible cameos from a few of the Fleetway characters? Talk to you soon. Stomp you later. Bye-bye.